Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Force here, and today I'd like to talk with you guys about questing in Guild Wars 2. Now if you haven't played this game, don't worry, I'm going to provide you with a brief synopsis basically as to how it works in this game, and then I'd like to draw comparisons between this and sort of the standard questing system in most games. So first of all, let's talk about how quests work in Guild Wars 2. There's a few different things you can do to level up. There are basically these events, area and boss events. There's also things like skill challenges, vistas, completing your personal story. You can level up through crafting, PvP, and there might be a handful of others, but these are some of the sort of the biggest ones that you'll be doing as you level up. So let's talk about events. Now in most MMOs, how does it work? Well, in most MMOs, you have quest hubs in which you'll walk into a town or an encampment, and there'll be some NPCs with quests for you to do. So what do? You pick up the quest, you go out and complete whatever the task is, and then you return to the NPC to turn in the quest and get your reward. That's a standard system, that's how it typically works. Well, you know, Guild Wars 2 has something like that, and through the personal story in which you'll be moving from one point to another, progressing and unfolding the story, that's an overarching thing, but a majority of the time, most of the questing experience, most of the leveling experience will be done through events. And how this works is you'll walk into an area, so say there's a mining camp, and it's being invaded by a bunch of enemies. You'll walk into that area, and a little progress bar will pop up that says, "Oh no, we're being invaded, please help us." And you can do a couple of things to help us. You can either kill off the enemies, you can revive some of our downed soldiers, or you can destroy their equipment. And a lot of times that's basically what it is. It's along the lines of either fighting, collecting, or assisting in one way or another. So you'll go into this area, you'll have this progress bar, you'll complete it however you want. You could just run around reviving everybody or destroying all the equipment, or you could just run around killing all of the enemies. And then once you have completed it, the progress bar goes to 100%, and the event is over, and you're done. You continue to move on with your day. You don't need to run back to town halfway across the map, turn the thing in to get your reward. You get your reward on the spot, so you get experience, currency, and then you just continue to move forward. So that's immediately one of the strong points I find between this system and the Quest Hub system, is that it removes the busy work. It removes the legwork of constantly having to walk back and forth, you know. Instead of going into this town and having someone tell you, "Help, our friends on the edge of town are being attacked," and then you going over there doing that and then having to run back to the guy to say, "Hey, don't worry, I saved the town, everyone's fine," instead of, you know, naturally you would assume, okay, if you save the town, the person's going to know about it because the people who are still alive are going to come back and be like, "Yeah, he saved us," and having to walk back and forth and be like, "Okay, give me my money now." Like, I don't know, it's sort of story-wise and progression-wise, I feel like the Quest Hub system just doesn't feel as good for me. Now, I will admit that it adds a more personal element that these events don't really have, because it is very much so the case, and most of the time, I'll walk into an area, I'll complete the event, I collect my reward, and then I just move on. There's no personal impact with me feeling like I helped an individual NPC, because most of the times, while there is usually an NPC that corresponds to an event, most of the time you never have to talk to them. Now, sometimes they've got gear that you're going to want. There's like this karma point system that you can spend points and get this gear for your characters, but you know, a lot of times I'm never even having to talk to any NPC, so it does sort of take away some of that personal touch. But when it comes to a gameplay sense, I really like this system as opposed to the Quest Hub system, because it feels organic and because it feels like it's constantly moving forward. I never feel like I'm wasting my time, and that is the case most of the times in MMOs. When I'm running back to turn in a quest, I'm like, "Oh God, I got to spend this time to run back here." I don't feel like I'm progressing within that moment. But in this system, I complete the event, and then I'm just walking towards the next event, or I'm walking towards a collection node, or I'm walking towards a skill challenge where I'll be fighting this sort of like a boss battle to collect a skill to improve my character, or I'll be walking towards a vista. There's always this feeling of moving forward with the way the Guild Wars 2 questing and leveling system works. The only backtracking that I've done so far is for the personal story, and that's been it. And you know, that's a great system because it's continuous narrative focus that tells the story of your character as you level up and, you know, go through all these events. And that part of it is great. But in terms of a gameplay aspect and seeing the world, I think that the way Guild Wars 2 does it, for me, is almost preferable. Now, I'm more than okay with looking at hybrids in games going forward, but I think I would like to see MMOs in the future adopt something more similar to this, at least in some aspects. I know that World of Warcraft has this newly introduced system. It's not like super new, but within the last few years, I don't remember what expansion it was, but they did add so that there were quests that you won't have to turn in, that turn in on the spot and actually give you a new quest on the spot. And that's sort of basically how this thing works as well. But yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think about this. Again, if you haven't played Guild Wars 2, hopefully I provided you with a decent synopsis as to how it works in the game. And how do you feel about that? Do you think the Guild Wars 2 system is good, the event system, the constantly moving forward, or do you like the quest hubs? Do you like having to engage with these NPCs on a regular basis? Does it give you more of a personal feeling? Yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys think. Please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be continuing to play Guild Wars 2. I'm also playing some other MMOs right now, although I can't talk about those. But yeah, I'm just interested in the questing system in these games and having it evolve in the future. And I'm really excited to see what some other developers are going to do beyond what's on the market at the moment. But for now, I must say I'm really enjoying this event system, and I'm having a lot of fun with the game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.
Yes?